Hey guys, it's Jensen, and today I'm going to talk to you about the books that I've been reading this week. So let's just start with the books that were on my TBR last week, and I'll give you an update on those. So last week I started reading I'd Rather Be Reading. I told you guys that, this book is short. Look at it. Very short. It's only like 156 pages. So I said I was going to finish it that day or the next day, and I lied. I love this book, and the closer I got to the end, the more I didn't want it to end, and so I've just been kind of reading it slowly to make it last longer. I'll probably finish it this week, but I just am trying to make it last as long as possible because I don't want it to end, because it's just filled with so much bookish goodness, and it's just so sweet and makes you want to pick up a book right away, and it gives you so many recommendations for things to read, so I don't want it to end, but I probably will finish it this week. Last week I was also reading Good Omens. I am 204 pages into it, so pretty much halfway. I am loving it. It's really good, really quirky, interesting story, interesting characters. A lot of what I've been reading so far is just the setup to getting to the apocalypse. And now I'm at the apocalypse, and the big challenge for me with this book is it has really long sections. It doesn't have chapters, it's just split up into sections that are basically the days leading up to the apocalypse. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on. And I'm at the part where the apocalypse is about to happen, and it's the longest section ever. And I struggle with books with long sections because it makes the book drag a little bit. For me, I prefer books with shorter chapters because it feels like I'm getting through the book quicker. So it's a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm a little bit nervous because this section is so long, but I am enjoying this book. I love Neil Gaiman. I love his writing. So I think I will be able to finish it this week still, I'm hoping. Yeah, it's great. It's great so far. It's just a little bit of a challenge for me because it's not separated into chapters. It's split up into longer sections. Last week, I also wanted to pick up The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Caterina Bivaldi. I am 303 pages into it, so I'm almost done. I have that much left, so I'll probably finish it tonight. It's just a really sweet, cute story. It's a solid 3-star book. It's just really light and fluffy and a perfect summer read, I feel like. It's just about a Swedish woman who has recently lost her job at a bookstore, and she decides to go visit her pen pal who lives in this small town in Iowa. And when she gets there, she finds out that her friend has died, but the people in this small broken town ask her to stay, and she decides to open a bookshop there with her, using her friend's old books, and tries to spread the love of books and reading, and tries to help the people in the town find the book that's meant for them. So it's just a cute, bookish story that is about the love of books, sharing books. It's, set in a small town, which is always a fun setting. It's about love and friendship and family and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's not anything too deep, but it is a sweet, really, really sweet story. So this week I also picked up Where the Heart Is by Billy Letts. This is a book that I have read before. I read it in high school, and when I picked it up again, I just was really in the mood to read this story again and revisit these characters, and I wanted to watch the movie again. And when I picked it up, I got about 50 pages in, and I just realized that maybe this doesn't hold up for me as much as it did when I read it the first time. I loved it the first time. I gave it 5 stars, and now I think it might be a little bit too sappy for me. That's how I personally felt about it. It was a little too sappy, a little bit too dramatic. I just don't think it holds up that well. I think it's definitely a product of its time, and so I don't think I'm gonna put this down. I don't think I'm gonna finish it. In fact, I think I might even end up giving this away. I'm definitely gonna put it under my bed where I store a lot of books that don't go on my shelves. I just don't think that this is going to be a book for me anymore, which is sad. That's the thing that you risk sometimes when you revisit a book that you loved, is sometimes it doesn't hold up the way you hoped it would, and your perspective has changed because you're a different person, and so you read it a little bit differently. And that's how I personally feel about this book. So I'm a little sad, but you know, other people enjoy it. So it's not like it's a bad book. It's just not for me anymore. So last week I was also reading Harry Potter. Haven't picked it up this week. I'm probably out of my Harry Potter mood, so I'll probably put it down and pick it back up again when I'm in the mood to read this. It's still great, just because I've read them before. I just kind of read them, like I explained, as I feel like reading them, and it's nice to just be able to pick up in the series and know what's going on still, because I'm familiar with them. I read them before, and so I can just read them as I wish to. So if I finish Good Omens and the readers of Broken Wheel recommend, there are 2 books that I would like to pick up this week after those 2 are out of the way. They are library books that I checked out before current events started happening and libraries started closing down, and I've had them in my library bag for a while, and they will be due soon, and so I figure I better get on top of the ones that I have not read yet. So the first book that I'd like to get into is Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. I don't know too much about this book. I know that basically it centers around President Abraham Lincoln's son Willie, who in real life did pass away. It kind of centers itself around that true historical event, and then from there kind of spins its own story. It gets a little bit supernatural. I am very curious. I hear great things. I hear the audio is really great. It has this whole cast of people who are in it, from Lena Dunham to other famous people. I won't listen to the audio because I don't listen to audiobooks, but I am really excited to read this. I think it will be really interesting, really quirky, and really unique. The other book that I would like to pick up is The Making of a Chef by Michael Ruhlman. And this is one that I've been wanting to pick up for years, and hopefully I can finally get to it. Basically, it's written by a journalist who went undercover at a culinary institute and wrote about how becoming a chef and his growing as a chef and learning the basic skills of cooking. And so I am really intrigued about this. I hear great things. I need to learn more about cooking, and so I'm hoping that this will be not only interesting but also educational. It sounds great. I can't wait to get into it. So this week, I didn't really finish any books. I did DNF Where the Heart Is. I will be finishing, hopefully, The Readers of Broken Wheel recommend, and I'd rather be reading, sadly. I don't want it to end, but it's got to end at some point, I guess. Can't I just read it the whole year? Just constantly be reading it? And Good Omens. And next week I hope to pick up The Making of a Chef and Lincoln in the Bardo. Now we're going to be doing just a brief wrap up of my Tome Topple readathon. So I only read one book for the Tome Topple readathon. It was Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. I really, really love this book, so I'm glad that I managed to read it. I'm fine that this is the only book I got to read because it was great. It was a great 5-star read. I loved it so much, and I just want to recommend it to everyone and tell them to read it because it's so great if you like character-driven narratives. I am really sad that I didn't get to Mistborn because I did really want to read this one. However, I just wasn't in the mood to read it. I didn't want to force myself to read something that I wasn't in the mood for, particularly Mistborn, because since it's not my typical genre, I didn't want to force myself to read it because I do want to enjoy it when I finally do pick it up. So I'm sorry if anyone was disappointed that I didn't pick this one up. I will someday, but not right now. Right now I'm more in the mood for more summer reads, lighter, fluffier stuff. And I'm really sad that I didn't get to pick up Pachinko because I did really want to read it. I heard a lot of feedback that people were really curious about this book and interested in it. So I will have to pick it up soon and give my thoughts on it. And that's my wrap up for the Tome Topple readathon. And that's what I've been reading this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Bye.